Hi Virgo, welcome to your week ahead. So this is going to be from the 24th to the 1st of December. So it's been a while. So you've got a very interesting read. If you want to join the membership, you can. I won't be able to do all the signs extended bonus, but there might be other signs you're interested in. And there's also going to be different content. If you want to book your 2026, it's the last week for the deal, the half price. And if you want to book a reading in general, it's below. So I just want to get on with the job because I want to get as many signs out as possible. But I love this reading for you this week. So let's move to this. So what I got with you is this person wants forgiveness and to reconnect. I get the person who wants to reconnect put the other person through a lot. This could also be the other way around. So maybe you're cross watching and you was dealing with a Virgo, but I do get there's a person who wants forgiveness and they want to reconnect. And we've got the Hierophant. I feel like this is an ex. So this is a person you were in a relationship with or you were in a situationship with, okay, because we do have the Lovers. Is some of years I feel like this person, it was physical. And I feel like this person was quite abusive. If you're in no contact at the moment or distance from someone, there might be high passion, but it might not be healthy to reconnect. Because I pulled all of these cards, I've just added them in to make them look pretty, but I pulled each card. But you also got Love Bomber, Caution, He Will Make You Come So Hard, because I feel like this is more of a passion, so it's more of an intimate connection. Um, so some of yous, I think you could be obsessing. Like some Virgos, I do get that this is your energy. So you've been involved with maybe potentially a fire sign, a Gemini. I'm getting Aries strongly, but it could be Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini. Aries very strong now. And I feel like this is someone who you share amazing intimacy with. So this is someone you share amazing passion. But again, maybe you're the person who wants to connect. Maybe you're watching Virgo because you're dealing with a Virgo. I do get one person doesn't care. So for some of you, it could be you. And this ex keeps trying to hit you up. They keep trying to come back. So this could be you because we do have that Five of Swords. But some years I do get a person who this person has changed, like because the Five of Swords came up reversed. So this is a person who doesn't want to fight anymore. Well, it came up reversed and then it came up upright. So it can be a person who goes back and forth. Maybe they want to come and reconnect. Maybe they don't want to fight anymore, but then they go back to the same way. I do think there needs to be caution. So the high priestess is someone who's listening to her intuition when it comes to a connection in her life. And you can see I put these cards for a reason, the Two of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords. So I think you need to be discerning at this time for this week because this person definitely wants to reconnect, or maybe you want to reconnect, but maybe this connection is not healthy. So if this has been an in and out, if this has been an intimate connection, maybe they're going to hit you up, but it's because it's more the passion, not the relationship. Okay. And we do have the death card. And that's why we said you have a big choice to make, but will you? Some of years it could be with ending it because we are in the Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. So for some of you Virgos, maybe you're in this now. Maybe the Five of Swords upright and then the Five of Swords reversed and then the Five of Swords upright means this is kind of somebody who it's a power play. You're always in power battles with this person. You know, this person could be quite psychologically damaging. So it might be someone who, for example, they come close, they share loads of intimacy, you have amazing times, and then they just disappear. You know, so some of you could be in this now. And like I said, if you've got other signs, you can watch the other signs. Maybe you are cross watching because this is part of your signs. Um, I feel like for some of you, this isn't just forgiveness when it comes to love. I feel like someone wants forgiveness in general and to reconnect in general. This could be someone who did you dirty, so someone who did bad on you. This might be in a job. This might be a family member. Okay. I feel like with the Hierophant is someone we've known a long while. Um, some years I feel like you're dealing with a relationship where this has been going on for years, not months, because that's what that Hierophant is. But I also get a person who betrayed a person and with that Ten of Swords. So this is someone who's deeply hurt a person. But I would also say with the Ten of Swords, like this is a person who's not good for us. It's a person who we obsess over. It's a person who damages us, right? So maybe we love the person, maybe we share great intimacy with the person, but this person is kind of damaging. They're not good for us. And you as a Virgo, you do tend to overanalyze. So if you've got a person in your life who's in and out, up and down, that can lead to obsession. I also saw 555. So I check the meaning of 555. So I'm going to say, maybe you're reaching out to this person. Maybe you're trying to reconnect with this person. Maybe this is self-sabotage. I kind of do get that. So maybe your primal instincts are kind of playing on you, right? Your primal instincts, maybe you miss the passion and the intimacy. But this person is not good. They're not good for your mind. They're not good for your soul. They're not good for your spirit. But you miss, sometimes we do confuse lust with love, right? We do drink too much, even though we know it poisons our body. There's an act of self-sabotage here. There's kind of knowing that something is not good for us or someone is not good for us. Coming back to what I've just said, how many people drink alcohol, but they know it poisons the body? But and so people say, oh, we're just having fun. It's not that, it's not that big of a deal. But it's like, that every time you drink alcohol, I drink alcohol. But I'm saying, we know every time we put that in our body, we're poisoning ourselves. It's the same type of thing. You're dealing with a person who, yes, okay, like when you have a drink, you can have fun, but it also has the downside. It has the hangover, it has the after effects, and it is poison. And that's kind of what I get here. Okay, going back to what I said, I do think there is a person in general, though, who did bad things. This could be a father, this could be someone who did you dirty. And I do think maybe this person wants forgiveness. Maybe they want to clear the conscience. I feel like this is a person who's sincere. Like, this might be a person you haven't seen in years, you know? And I feel like this person wants to reach out or they want to reconnect. Coming back to what I said, you have a big choice to make. Just because a person seeks forgiveness doesn't mean you have to give them it. Some things people do to us are unforgivable. Now, that doesn't mean we don't move on, because if you hold on to the bitterness, then, but no, some people have said that to me, like, I'm a true believer that some things are not forgivable. And that's just how I am. So what I would say I feel like with the Ten of Swords, what was done was quite extreme. It really affected this person for many, many years. Um, and so, not only does this person want forgiveness, but they want a place in your life. That's what the problem is. So that's why I think you do have a big decision to make. Also, don't be guilted into forgiving a person. Um, it's your right to not forgive that person. It's your right to not reconnect with that person. I feel like some of years this is like a family member. It could just be someone who caused you a great deal of pain with their absence, or they just did things that were not good and it had a profound effect on your life. And so I think it can be difficult to forgive if what the person has done has had a profound effect on our life. Now, again, it's up to you. Some people can, but I think if you're going to choose forgiveness, you really have to choose it and you have to mean it, and that's it, But everybody's different with what they can forgive or not forgive. So for some years, I think this is deeper. I think it's there's things I want to say here, but I'm not going to. I think you need to connect the dots for yourself. Just because this is a public read, you can reach out for a private read if you want a private consultation, because that's personal with the person. But you can clearly see, you know. I mean, the Ten of Swords is the murder card. This can be where people forgive people who murdered a child or murdered a person in the family. You know, this could be a person who's getting out of jail. This person was a very nasty person. They did very nasty things. This is just an example. And this can be a person who seeks you out because maybe they found God and they kind of want forgiveness. And some people do forgive, uh, but I think some people, um, they're just lying to themselves. Like, some things you cannot forgive, especially if they've had a profound impact on your life or a person you love's life. You can't do that. Okay, so that's one story there. Some of yours with this love connection, I think it's about two people really do share a lot of intimacy. They share a lot of intimacy. The sex is off the chart. It's on fire. Um, but when it comes to, with the Hierophant, an established relationship, a lasting relationship, a marriage or a relationship that is healthy, I don't think so. So some of yours might, maybe someone will come with a sob story. I think this person genuinely believes that they're genuine, but I don't think so. You know, obviously it's a general read. So I feel like this person who's seeking to reconnect and is seeking forgiveness is actually being genuine, but they haven't done the fundamental work. They haven't changed on a fundamental level. Some of yours may be, but we got the Five of Swords reversed. So this is a person who's changing the character. This is a person who was not the best person in the past, but they've changed. The problem is then when I reshuffled, the Five of Swords came back out. So they go back to the old ways, right? So once bitten, twice as shy. Because there's nothing worse than forgiving a person, reconnecting with a person. The person says they've changed, and then they go back to the same person. You know, it's like, so Virgos are no fools, but you can get duped. And I think there's a deeper message for some of you Virgos. This is you. I keep getting that. There's something with your behavior. I think that Five of Swords could be you. And there's something to do with alcohol is coming up a lot. There's an act of self-sabotage here. There's an act of choosing things that damage you. Ten of Swords is self-destructive behavior. Some of you might need help, you know? Because some of you, I think this is you in something. It could be a relationship. It could be, a way of life. But this way of life is quite damaging. This person's health is damaged. I feel like a person needs to restructure themselves after trauma because the Ten of Swords is the nervous system. So this is a person whose nervous system, the High Priestess, is doing self-development work. She's doing healing. She's healing her unconscious. With the Five of Swords, she's encountered a person who was truly malevolent and nasty and dirty. And so this is a person who needs to recover because the Ten of Swords is a person who's broke. This could be a breakdown as well. So I will try my best to do the bonus read for you, but I would say edge caution this week. If you're single and doesn't make sense to you, this is you. This is a person who's on they're on a breakdown. This is a person who's gonna have a breakdown. This is working to the point of like breaking point. This is you're doing something, and whatever this thing is, it's self-destructive. So the Hierophant is about re-establishing yourself, discipline, structure. So you've got an alcohol addiction, it's reducing the alcohol. Could also be seeking help because the High Priestess would be somebody who reaches out to somebody to seek guidance, to seek support. Okay, something is getting out of hand, right? The Two of Pentacles is you. So I just want to go to this. The Two of Pentacles is you. See the emotions in the background. See the ocean in the background. But I kind of get someone who's numbing themselves out. Because Ten of Swords is a person who maybe they feel bad within themselves. Like I said, this is a person who's holding trauma or this is obsession. And I feel like this person they want to be in the unconscious. When we drink alcohol or we take drugs, we go into our unconscious mind. So this is kind of a person who wants to numb out. They don't want to be in reality in some way. Um, so I think for the Virgo who's single, whether you're a man or you're a woman, as we come to the end of 2025 and we go into 2026, it's kind of reflecting. Some of you could be in some kind of nastiness, or you could be in something that this is quite dangerous. I mean, that combination is very dangerous. Five of Swords, Death, and Ten of Swords is this could be other people's lives could be at risk. Your life could be at risk. That combination is not good. But like I said, I want to keep it more to, sometimes with general reads, a lot comes out. Mostly I'm going to keep it to that. Maybe you were obsessing over a person, you really want to reconnect with this person, but this person is not good for you. This person is about themselves. Maybe they were intimate, maybe they've just disconnected from you, maybe it's psychologically wounding because you miss this person, maybe you're reaching out, maybe they're ignoring you. If you're dealing with an Aries, I feel like this person is really selfish. They could be going back and forth between you and someone else. But when we allow this behavior from other people, it's our own self. There's something within us, there's a trauma. Some of us might be trauma bonding. There's something within us that's making us choose that type of person. Because healthy people don't abuse themselves. Healthy people don't go on the path of self-destruction. Healthy people don't choose people who disrespect them, right? They choose people who respect them, who respect the time, respect the energy. They don't choose people who just come in and out and do what, treat them very poorly. And I'm going to say for some of you this week, you're treating yourself poorly and you need to find balance again. Some of you need a somatic healing. So the Ten of Swords would be a nervous system that's cracked. So a lot of what they talk about as a psych break is actually the nervous system cracking under pressure. So if you're feeling off, things like yoga, maybe an energy healer, maybe speaking to a therapist, for the Virgos who the mind is kind of overwhelmed, you need to take this seriously. This is a person who's at breaking point. They could be having thoughts of death, right? This is a very harsh reading, but that's what I'm getting. The High Priestess is the Virgo woman, like she's doing, maybe if this person comes and tries to reconnect, the High Priestess is really, really thinking if that's what she wants to do. I think some of you are dealing with like a twin flame, you're dealing with maybe a karmic. Some of you have been in and out with this person, back and forth with this person. It's not that easy to break away from this person. But you need to think about the damage that this person has caused you, and you need to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And I'm going to say some of you this week, just watch yourself. You might be in a bad place psychologically. I mean, I'm getting gang stalking, I'm getting people who could be a threat to our life. I think you need to be smart now. Okay? The Two of Pentacles could also be thinking about relocation. So Two of Pentacles could be you've got a decision to make. Maybe some of you need to leave a place. Maybe that place is full of trauma, it's full of bad energy, it's full of bad memories. And maybe as you approach the end of 2026, sorry, I've been focusing a lot on the cards, but as you move towards the end of 2025, maybe you just want 2026 to be a whole new chapter, whole new energy. If we've lived in a place and we've had a bad marriage or we've had a bad time, sometimes the best thing we can do is leave that place, because we leave all the unconscious, all the memories, all the stimuli behind. But I'm going to stick to, and you can join the bonus read, you can join the membership for when I put extra reads. I'll try to do a Virgo bonus. You can see here, you can join the membership. That's for everybody, not just Gemini, but I've put Gemini there. Any other messages for this week? So I just want to pick up these messages because I did pull these for you. So you had matrix mindset. So some of years, I think where you are in your life is not where you want to be, but it's because you've got a matrix mindset. You might have a lot of fear. The one who's coming back, you got love bomber. So like I said, I do think this person wants forgiveness. I do think they want to reconnect, but maybe what they did to you in the past, they'll just do it again. I think the sex is really good. Someone is obsessing because you've got can't stop thinking about you. So either you're obsessing over a person, but what might be a problem here is if the energy is reversed, you're obsessing over the person, but they've moved on. Um, some of you might have someone pursuing you who's a bit stalkery. So like you don't actually want this person back. You don't want to reconnect with this person, but maybe this person's too persistent. You've got rise from the burning building, show them your power. Something nasty has took place here. Something really, really nasty. I do get here that somebody has been a big problem in a person's life. Um, Something happened to Virgo that's profoundly affected them. This could be a bad marriage. It could be, an abusive husband. Like something really, really. And some of you, that's what you need to do. The death card is rebirth. Like I said, maybe you're dealing with this relationship now. Maybe that's what you need to do. So maybe this person, I think you've got a choice to make. Like some of you might have given a person forgiveness and reconnected with the person. Maybe this person said that they changed. They haven't. And now you're starting to see that. So maybe you went against your better judgment and now you're right back where you was before. Because, so some of you, that's what I'm getting. You need to end this for good. This pattern, this cycle, this, whatever this toxicity is, or toxin. It might not be a person. It could be a drug. It could be alcohol. It's something that consumes you, that's damaging to your mind, your body, your soul, and your spirit. You need to, some of you need to rise. Like maybe your life got burned to the ground. Maybe you lost a person. Maybe you lost a career. Like something was definitely, the tower happened. Aries again. So now, with the fact Aries is coming up as well, remember what I said, it's not always a person. Aries is the planet of Mars. Mars is the planet of war. So this could be where we're at war with ourselves and we start to self-destruct. It could also be a war with other people, which is definitely possible here. And you need to rebirth yourself. You need to rise again. You need to leave this behind. Maybe you need to find forgiveness for yourself, but it doesn't necessarily mean you'll forgive the people who did it. So maybe you'll find, I wouldn't say forgiveness, but maybe you'll find acceptance with what happened. Because if we brood in what people have done to us, then obviously we'll become resentful, we'll become bitter, and then we'll become stuck. And often as well, like people then become self-destructive because they can't hate their enemies, or maybe they refuse to. So they turn it on themselves, they turn it inward, they turn the anger, the hatred, the self-destruction inward. So then the enemy wins twice. So you don't have to forgive, but you have to, I wouldn't say forget either, but you have to find, there will be things in our life that are done to us, and it's best to find acceptance that the dark walks amongst us and that people are nasty. That's what that Five of Swords is. And that they do nasty things. And sometimes that comes at great peril or great price to our life. I think there's a message for some Virgos in this about really be careful with your choice this week. Just because the past comes knocking doesn't mean you should open the door. Right? Because I do think for some of years it might be blissful for a moment, but it might come with a high price later on. And some of years I do think there's a need to look after your nervous system, protect your mind this week. Some of you need to think about a location change. Be careful with substances or toxins, because I do think that this is affecting you. And some of you, it's time to heal. You've got a lot of trauma, and maybe this is keeping you alone. Maybe this is, some of you, it's really time to face yourself and heal, so that next year can be different. Okay, so check out the membership. If you want to book a personal, check it out. Enjoy your week, and I'll speak to you soon.